So John, if you can, please elaborate a little bit on some of the most common mistakes in your experience, your vast experience in helping entrepreneurs launch businesses and product-based businesses, what you found to be some of the most common mistakes that inventors or entrepreneurs make when it comes to developing and marketing their product and bringing it to market.
Sure. Well, the number one thing, and it's very most common, is we all don't know what we don't know. And newly formed and newly minted founders come in, they think they have a passion for something, they believe they do, they have a product, something that they believe is going to really help people go to the next level. The reality is they still don't know what they don't know. So part of it is making sure you have a disciplined process that you're going to follow to get new information. And that's why IdeaPath at ISP puts together the market research report and does strategy and branding and then develops the product and moves to market launch. So having a disciplined approach and making sure that you learn before you're going to market it, before you're going to develop it, is important. But that's just from a process standpoint. When you don't know what you don't know, the quickest way to find out is not only by the research you do, but by people who have been there and done it before. So like our advisory network that's 50 plus strong, connecting to the people, former entrepreneurs, very successful venture people who have built businesses in your sector, in that particular industry, learning from them is paramount. Every founder really tries to go it on their own for whatever reason, because maybe they're just afraid for asking help, and maybe they're not sure. And some of them actually believe that they already know in their mind that the product's going to work. But they haven't done the research and they haven't spoken to the people who have done it before. So of the top two common mistakes, and there's many different mistakes founders can make, making sure that you have a disciplined process, because if you don't, that's a mistake. And making sure you're connecting to people who have been there and done it before, because that's a common mistake when you don't.
That's great. You know, it makes me think when you answer that, you know, the field of dreams approach, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you build it, they will come, and that's just not how launching a new product or technology works, right? And so I think you really highlighted that. One other follow-up question: when it comes to the disciplined approach, right? Being an entrepreneur and the journey of an entrepreneur, you say all the time how it's not linear,
no,
right?
It's not,
And
yeah.
so having this disciplined approach, but also being able to pivot when necessary, you know, how does that align? Some might think, well, you know, pivoting it wouldn't be disciplined, and disciplined wouldn't be pivoting. So maybe you can elaborate on how the two work together.
Well, actually, couldn't be farther from the truth. I'll take an example of a running back or a quarterback on an NFL field. They're given 3-inch, 4-inch stack of plays that they memorize. And they not only memorize their plays and what they're supposed to do, but every person on the line. And so it's a very disciplined process of studying the plays and understanding them and knowing how you're going to react. But the reality is when you're on the field, then it's real time. And it really rarely works out like it's supposed to. And so I coined this phrase 25 years ago, and probably there's many that have said it as well. It's learning agility. I believe that those people that can not only learn new things quickly, but in real time, while simultaneously adjusting and pivoting based on that knowledge base they've learned, is important. And a running back is just that. So is a quarterback. They go into the play, somebody doesn't block the way they should, something happens different, they immediately read the field, they pivot and they adjust, but they still complete the play in most instances.
Sure.
And that's learning agility. Entrepreneurs are really no different. They have to literally practice that learning agility skill in order to build that foundation, because you're right, it's not a linear path. It's anything but linear. If you actually looked at it, it's filled with crevasses and huge mountains and unbelievable things that you have to overcome and challenges. And if you can't learn along the way and adapt, you can't get to the finish line.
Sure. No, that's a great answer, and I think it's really going to help our viewers. The one thing that just comes to mind as you mentioned that is something that, an analogy that I use often, which is, you know, if you're taking a cross-country road trip or a long road trip, you know, you plug into your GPS, whether it's Google Maps or Waze or whatever you use, you plug in the end destination. And if it's a long road trip, day, 2 days, 3 days, there's a very high probability that you're going to end up taking some detours, right? There's going to be construction, there's going to be accidents. But the reality is that disciplined approach is the route, and knowing where you're going to go. You're going to be taken off that route, you're going to come back to it. So having that end result and that end destination, I think, is so critical. So great answer. Appreciate that.
Thank you.